What is up, everyone? Coach Kyle here coming at you. And right now we are looking for some people who want to get the results they deserve and become stronger and also become leaner. So all you have to do to be accepted is message us with the keyword stronger to our Instagram, which is at colossusfit, colossusufit. We'll have a conversation, make sure you're the right fit, and get you the results that you deserve. So we can't wait to hear from some of you awesome people. Now into the episode.
If you're looking to see change and you're ready to put in the work, we will get you there. Whatever obstacles in your way, your specific situation, we really look forward to help guiding you through that. Don't hold yourself back. There's a reason the best athletes in the world have coaches. And when you have the know-how to achieve your transformation faster, we're going to get you there. You're going to see 5 times faster results. So what are you waiting for? If you're serious about seeing change, give yourself the best gift, work with us one-on-one, see that change faster, and we look forward to you being our next success story. Once again, to do that, you can DM us the keyword strong to our Instagram at colossusfit, colossusufit. Now into the episode. So thank you everyone today for tuning in. Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
We got a really fun episode for you. It's absolutely awesome to see how many people are getting into strength training. Before, it was a thing, you don't lift heavy weights or get bulky, especially for women. Only lift light weights, get crazy pump. But it's really cool that people are really just starting to orbit towards strength training and the benefit of it and the different joys of it, getting the 500-pound club, the 1,000 club, the 1,500 club, the crazy clubs that are out there, the 135 club. There's just so much fun that comes with strength training. And if you're not taking strength seriously in your journey, you're probably making your journey more boring than it needs to be, because strength are those good cherries. They're those things that you can really kind of climb for, that can just be that extra exciting thing, that joy of hitting a PR, that ability to realize you can work to something new. And even on a basic level, you should really be able to help yourself get up from lying down. You should be able to push yourself up with your arms. You should be able to pull yourself up like a pull-up. Like, these are basic movements that you should be able to do as a human being to be strong. And then you can take that so much further with super heavy squats, deadlifts, bench, all these different things. It's funny, for me, I was doing some kind of lift and whatever, the guy's like, man, you're really strong, especially for how you look. Because I guess he was saying, like, I'm a lot stronger than I look muscular. Like, I'm muscular, but I'm not like a roided out bodybuilder here, right? Like, I'm more of a natural muscular looking person, but I've always been very strong, especially for where I am. My total has been near 1,600 pounds at its peak, which is really awesome. I've done a 585 pound squat. I've done a 400 pound bench, not comp prep, but I've done a 400 pound bench. And then I've done a 620-ish deadlift. So you know you'll be in good hands. I prepared these notes. These are notes I really believe in. And maybe you don't want to hit those crazy things, but maybe you just want to move up from the 10s to the 15s for your curls. You've been stuck there. These tips will help you all the same. So enough of me kind of getting into it with my prelude. We're going to jump into number 1. And the biggest thing is form first. It sounds cliche. It's like what you would expect me to say, but it's very true. Like, and there's learning how to do something, and there's learning how to do it optimally. So if you want to get really strong at bench, squat, or deadlift, the best thing you can do is do them more and let your muscle and your actual motor functions work in that range of that movement. So if you've never done something before, it's going to be hard, it's going to be foreign, you're going to get sore. The more you do it, the more your body can optimize towards that movement. And that's why people will get very strong very, very fast. Perhaps when you start, benching the bar will be insanely foreign. It'll be ridiculously hard. And then within a month, you could be doing 135 pounds, which is essentially a 90-pound increase from what you were doing. And that'd be absolutely unrealistic for me to do. I'm not hitting a 490 bench anytime soon. But one of the best things you can do is become efficient in that movement. And another thing you can do is be truly efficient. So we'll start with bench press. So for the issue most people have with bench press is they'll come down, they'll flare out their elbows, they won't tuck their elbows, and it's this awkward motion where they're pressing this awkward form. The bar is wiggling all over the place. It's not in a straight motion. Whereas when you're benching properly, you'll come down, pretty much bring it to about your nipple line, and you'll push and flare more towards your face, and that would be a more optimized movement pattern. Just the same, you can learn advanced tactics like leg drive. Squatting is very much the same. There's so many little components to form, especially for compounds, but if you can start right, you'll save yourself having to relearn things. The other day I was benching and I felt myself putting my heels off the ground. I was on my toes, and it kind of made me chuckle because I always learned benching with my toes up and my heels not down. And I had to completely relearn to bench because In certain powerlifting federations, you can only bench with your heel on the floor or it won't count as a lift. And like, this is me taking it really deep, but case in point, if you can really spend the time to learn to do it right from the start, you'll get stronger way faster than just winging it and just hoping to figure it out. And you might say, how the heck do I do that? One of the best things you can do is film yourself. But it doesn't matter if you film yourself, if you don't know what you're looking for, but film yourself and then watch some of our form videos. We have form videos on squats, bench, deadlift. You already know me and Kyle, you know we know what we're talking about, and you can watch our video and compare it to yours, or you can watch the video before you even try it and learn what to do as well as what not to do. I think one of the reasons our YouTube really blew up and a lot of our videos have millions of views is because we wouldn't just say, here's what to do. We'd say 3 common mistakes. That was like our thing. That is our thing, because I'm a big believer when I know what not to do, it helps me realize in more clarity what to do. And oftentimes that's one of the best things, because now you go, oh, maybe I shouldn't bench with my toe. And that's a whole nother side topic, but you get my point. If for squat, common mistakes, like maybe you're just doing things that aren't working, you're getting butt wink, you're on your toes. Like when you can learn very clear and obvious cues that you should avoid, it makes it easier to really highlight what you should be doing. And you'll actually be amazed how much stronger you'll get. So don't just go in there and bro it and wing it. That's how you get hurt. That's how it'll be unenjoyable. That's how you cause yourself more harm. There's a quote for a reason. It's easier to teach a new dog tricks than an old dog new tricks. And it's the same case. If you learn something the wrong way, you have to unlearn and relearn. But if you're fresh and you're new, that's a great opportunity. But I know most people listen to this probably already doing it. So it's just optimizing with the right cues. In our coaching, we allow unlimited form videos, so you can send it. We'll break it down. And what I like to do with my clients is one of the worst things you can do if you have a trainer and they're giving you 80 cues for every lift, it's horrible. You're not going to get anywhere. It's so much easier to focus on 1 cue, maybe 2, because if you overwhelm people, they're going to overthink things. So I'll usually break it down, make sure that's fixed, then I'll move into the next, and just another amazing component of our coaching program.
Form could honestly be an entire episode. Like, honestly, there's so much to say. And even I will recommend, like, if you've been doing it for years, still film yourself. Like, to this day, there'll be some moments where Josh will mention something, be like, hey, look at this. I'm like, oh man, I didn't realize I was doing that. And like, I think a lot of times people think they're at a point where they're better than these form videos and these form checks. But honestly, it'll help you so much, because sometimes we just can't see from different angles. Like, most of the time we can't. And it's a great idea. And I think that's incredible. But number 2 is just increasing the volume of each movement. Now, there's 3 typical ways to increase volume. It's going to be increasing the weight, increasing the sets, or increasing the reps. Now, it can be definitely challenging. That's where having a coach comes in handy. Like Josh said, with those form videos, with the programming and everything, we'll also take care of this. But I'll give you a simple example. Let's say for 8 weeks, you run 5x5 bench press. You start with 135, then 140, then each week you just add 5 pounds. That's an easy way to increase volume, increase progressive overload, and that's awesome. But I'd say for most people, they can't always be adding weight. And that's why definitely playing around with reps and sets. And even when we do our programming, is we try to get you to that point where we have back off weeks where we're increasing volume for a bit, it drops down a bit. And then if you are watching on YouTube, you can see my hand kind of going up, pausing, going down, and then just continuously building back up. And that's an amazing way to just consistently build strength, because if you are just doing the same weight for the rest of your life, you're not going to be necessarily getting stronger, right? At least you're maintaining, but our goal is to get you stronger. And that's going to be one thing. So definitely increase volume in some way or another. If you're in our coaching program, we'll absolutely take care of you, but that's going to be number 2.
Yeah, don't be that person who just PRs every week and thinks you're getting stronger. You're rarely actually ever going to progress from PRing. Oftentimes it's being within shot of that in high intensity, but not fully extending your CNS. That will just do more harm than good. CNS, the central nervous system, and to go a true 1 rep max is very, very taxing on your body. And that's why, like, I recommend most people PR maybe most, like 4 times a year. Like, there's just no need to do it more. There's exceptions. You're with your buddies, a really good lift, you're having a ton of fun, and you're in no rush, and you're feeling strong, and you can take it. But especially as you get more advanced, you do it less and less. But you'll actually gain a lot of strength from volume phases, especially volume phases done right. And contrary to popular belief, you don't just need to be in that 2, 3, 4 rep range. You can get very strong doing 12 reps. There's more nuances to it. And once again, like, programming, periodizing, percentage-based, it gets very complex, and it doesn't need to be, especially if you're a beginner. But that's where it can be kind of tough. But in the coaching program, we'll definitely take care of you. And yeah, like maybe later in life, I don't know. We haven't done it yet. We're not a fan of generalized programs, but if that's something you'd like to see from us, let us know. We know other people offer that too. We're really big. Like when someone comes in, we'll look at that individual. Where do they have more muscle? Where do they have weak spots? What injuries do they have? What background? Like, programming to me needs to be very, very personalized. I've used the music example before. Kyle comes in, I go, I got the perfect program for you, bro. And I give him screamo music. Or the perfect music for you. He's gonna be like, what the heck is this? Maybe he would want country music, or like, case in point, everyone's so different, and programming similar to that, to what the person needs. And it's music, but it's entirely different feels, right? And programming's like that. What equipment you have, what you like to do, what your background is, what your expertise is. There's just so much that goes into it. And that's why I prefer doing it custom myself. Anyways, on with the episode. And of course, too, we'd like to explain things from different angles, because it's harder to speak through this and not show through this. But I also think you listening to this will give you a deeper understanding. So I really do hope this is helpful for everyone. And these 8 tips are going to be killer. But the third one's simply to focus on the movement, not the muscle. I like the bench example. Bench is really, really powerful, because with bench, you start out and you want to squeeze your chest, you're grinding, you're pumping it up, you're doing all these things. There's really no need to do that. Chest is going to be your primary mover in a bench press. Of course, you'll get more development doing slow dumbbells than you would a barbell bench, but having the capacity to build strength in a barbell bench, you can build it faster. You can be stronger in your hypertrophy and supportive work to actually get more muscle longer term. So for compounds in particular, I'm not a big fan on just like doing them slower. Kyle will get into this in the next one, but focus on the movement, not the muscle. So just focus on pushing through it, being strong and completing it. And I guess Kyle will expand on this with number 4.
Yeah, I find a lot of times it can be overcomplicated for no reason. So like one of the best things, and this was Josh's note, but just focus on like the mental cue, like from A to B, like, okay, here's where we're starting, here's where we're trying to get to. And I think it's just so much easier, and it's just a great way, especially to increase your strength, to just like get the weight up. That's it. Of course, focusing on number 1, which is form. If that's done and done properly, then hey, our goal is to get the weight up here. And I think when you see all these programs, and I hear like, lots about tempo, and like, okay, we're going to go 4-second negative, pause at the bottom for a bit, slow negative up, pause at the top. And it's harder to get stronger. Like you can definitely build muscle in that sense, but I'd say, especially if you're focused on strength and just getting to that next level in terms of strength standards and just all that great stuff, and improving in the gym with that side of things, definitely just focused on that mental cue of A to B is a great way to go for this one.
Yeah, there was actually a study done on this a while ago, and they gave students essentially a bunch of cues about how to bench and the weight to use, and they did a certain load. And then they had them do the same thing, but they said a different group, and they just said go from point A to point B as aggressively as you can. So for bench, they use the cue, try and hit the ceiling. Now this sounds crazy. This is pushing through an obvious path of motion. You're not hitting no ceiling when you're bench pressing. There's not a chance in the world. But people looking through that path, they autocorrect, they had a better bar path, and they were able to lift more weight. And that's where some people get so form heavy and crazy about contractions, elbow tucking, this and that. And it's important. If your form is glaringly wrong, you should take a step back. And I believe for a lot of compounds, you should advance into them. I usually have clients start with dumbbell work. I'll check that out. You'll learn really how to kind of work intelligently through that with more stability in the movement. Then you could advance to barbell work. But in general, if you focus on that A-B, you'd be amazed how much form you can correct by just having people understand the path they're taking and making sure they're not doing anything glaringly wrong to take it in the wrong sense. So for me with squatting, I like to sit my butt down. I push my butt back so I'm not pushing too hard into my toes and lifting my heels like crazy to get butt wink. So I sit back strong. I hit that hole. I get that feeling of that spring. I stand up strong, and that's my squat. That's how I visualize it, and that's how I'm able to squat a lot, because I really just look through it. Whereas if I'm, okay, come down slow, push my butt back, knees go forward a little, push out my hips, stand up strong, bring in my pelvis, bracing through my abs, extension through. Like, it's just so complicated. It's not going to work the same as if I say, hit the hole, spring out, power up, boom. Like, it's funny because strength can be that simple and it can be that complex. And generally too, like just getting in there, putting in the work and challenging yourself is just so powerful. So that's the extra thing I'm going to add on to that A-B tip, is just make sure you're using that right weight that is challenging yourself. We've spoken before, if 10's an intensity, this is a very general rule of thumb, but aim to be at 8 or 9 for most of your sets. You never want to be fully expent unless you're doing like some extra like hypertrophy, which is number 5. Understand how strength all works together. Compounds are phenomenal, but hypertrophy builds into compounds. So for instance, going back to the bench press analogy, for your bench press, your primary move is your chest. You have a backup support from your biceps on the negative, of course. Your triceps are there to power through the motion. Your shoulders are bracing through it as well. If your grip's wider, you get more shoulder, more upper chest. If your grip's narrower, you get more tricep. But you can see how a lot of these muscles, and that's why they're compounds, there's a compound of muscles moving through that movement. So if you can actually start to work those things individually, you can build your bench. So if you're having a hard time locking out your bench, that top portion of your bench is largely your triceps. You can just go crazy on tricep work and actually push through that. If you're really slow off your chest, you can do more chest work, you can do more shoulder work, you can train the bench press in that motion by doing really good pause reps, you can do block presses, you can do all these different things, and you can really manipulate strength that way. There's a little bit of a higher level tip, but by understanding how strength works together, you can get a lot stronger. Just the same, like deadlifting and squatting are very similar motions in and of themselves. They can contribute and build into each other. And as silly as it sounds, having a strong squat and deadlift will build into your bench once you learn leg drive and you learn bracing and you learn control and stability. Like, all of these things work together, and I think the easiest, most simple way to explain that is I truly believe your body wants to be symmetrical, and it also wants to be symmetrical in strength. If you have a super strong upper body and weak legs, your body will reflect that. It'll be weird, there will be holes, you'll get odd injuries, but the more you can build a balanced physique and have a balanced, intelligent program that all complements each other, the stronger and better you'll be. It's just similar to how meditation can help me work better because I can be calmer. Working better can help me earn more money, so I'm happier and I'm able to live the life I want. And like, you can see how all these things that aren't related become super related, and strength training is super, super important. And like, in times, like if you're really unbalanced in your barbell, you could switch over to dumbbell press and you could benefit from that, and you can work more stability. And this is where, once again, it's hard because I could give examples for this for 80 hours, but obviously we need to break this down short. But this is where a really intelligent program goes so far, and the next step's a big one as well.
Yeah, similar, working off of what Josh mentioned, number 6, just having overall symmetry as well as incorporating unilateral training, just game changing. Like, you can just do barbell work and that's awesome. You can become strong, but honestly, just having each arm individually as strong, even legs, incorporating things like lunges, for example, like each leg will individually be working, therefore both of them will be equally as strong. And sometimes when we do these other movements, let's say just barbell related, we can build imbalances and end up, let's say, using one arm more than another, one leg more than another, all that stuff. So like, great programming and just overall kind of true results within strength training come from doing a combination of all these things. Great. If someone's just doing machines all the time, it's going to be tough. Like, yes, you can do things quite well in the machine, but it's not going to help you in terms of just developing that overall true strength. So that's why, similar to what Josh was saying, like having a good combination of everything, and even just having no weak points, like a little, I guess, 6.5, like if everything's symmetrical, you have strong rear delts, just your chest is also strong. Like, if one person's chest is only strong, but then their back is super weak, and then like, it's nice to have every muscle group, like he said, symmetrical, like just strong in every area. You're unstoppable. One other thing I'll say is, as I've been talking to a lot of clients lately, it's been so incredible because we've talked about hundreds of different examples of where their strength helped them in areas of their life. And that's what's so cool. Like, someone who just went on a great, my client Darren, a backpacking trip, as well as portaging and carrying canoes and all this stuff. Like, everything he did in the gym helped him in so many different ways. My client Stephanie, who also went on a hike and did all these amazing things. Like, every area of your life in the gym can end up improving life outside of the gym because you're strong, because your legs have what it takes, because you've focused on increasing your bench press, your deadlift, your squat. And that's something so many people don't realize, and I'm super passionate about it.
Couldn't agree more. And now number 7 is to improve grip. Oftentimes your body will be stronger than your grip. Forearms are small muscles. I've hit on this before, so I won't spend too long. So this episode isn't crazy bloated, but very oftentimes you're actually gonna have less grip than you have ability with your back, your legs, etc. I know it's super trendy and I've seen them more than ever, so I'm guessing it's like a TikTok thing to use wraps. In my opinion, it's a bit of a mistake because you're kind of jumping over a problem and creating reliance on wraps. If you just keep pushing through and you do some assisted work, like do some farmer's carries, do some dedicated forearm and strength work, you can break through that and build your forearms to be ironclad. And personally, I prefer that. I made the mistake of needing wraps, and you can't use them in a comp. I think it's silly to always need to tie it, and I just think it's a lot better to build grip. And good grip is such an important metric for life and strength, and it's also a good indication of longevity. So build out your grip. There's a lot of ways to do it, but I'm a big fan in that one as well. And I find that really will help you get stronger.
Absolutely. And last but not least, just tying this all together, following a solid program. So I find there's two huge common mistakes: not following a program or following a program that's not created for you. And I'd say, unfortunately, a lot of people fall into this category. So for example, Ronnie Coleman's power building routine that's been posted by Muscle and Fitness. You think, okay, he's jacked, I'm going to follow his routine. You're going to be highly misguided. And then another on the other side, just doing whatever you feel like, just not really kind of just doing whatever you want to do. It's going to be hard to stay accountable to that, right? Because one day you're going to be feeling great, one day you're not. Like a lot of times you'll do less than you should be doing because of just our mindsets, and that's just how we work. So I'd say get on a solid program, a dedicated custom routine. And what a lot of people don't see behind the scenes when we sit down to program for our clients, there's about 15 to 20 things we consider. Of course, like Josh was kind of touching on earlier on, what equipment do you have? What's your past workout history like? What's your time frame like? What do you enjoy? What do you absolutely hate? Like just a million different things, like where your weakness is. When you send a photo, we put it together. So there is so much that comes together within this. And that's where a lot of people struggle, is they make their own routine that's like kind of just a little bit biased and just like what you really, really want to do, which isn't always going to produce the results. So anyways, let us take care of you. Let us put together a killer program, help you in your nutrition, check in with you, hold you accountable, do all that great stuff. Message us with the keyword strong. We'll get you strong, fit, healthy, happy, and hopefully these tips helped you.
Yeah, let us help you. We've done 5 powerlifting meets. We've worked with thousands of clients. We've done the research. We built the programs. We know what works and what doesn't. Like, take the guesswork out of your journey. Instead of sitting researching for 150 hours, like, have someone to hold you accountable to it. Have someone to motivate you, to push you. Have an unlimited source where you can send form videos and confirm form is progressing and improving. Have someone to encourage you to lift more when you think you can't. Like, these are tools you can get access to. You can get access to it from anywhere in the world. No matter what your situation, we will take care of you. So don't miss out on this. DM us strong to @colosssufit, COLOSSUSFIT. Learn more about our coaching, and we can't wait to help you get the results that you deserve.